Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for tuning in today. First up, the NPHC, which is the council that represents the Black Greek sorority and fraternity organizations, joins me in studio to share about their upcoming Unity Lighting event. Then the Hoosier Lottery is here to talk about their newest holiday scratch-off tickets and how you can win big prizes. Then it's Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry, and we're going to discuss mental health issues that may occur during the holiday seasons and how to get help. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
The NPHC is the National Pan-Hellenic Council, which represents a rich tapestry of Black Greek letter organizations known as the Divine Nine. And joining me to share about their organization and upcoming events is Frank with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Aaliyah with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Daryl with Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Don and Tamisha with Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Darius with Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Davana with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and Angela with Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So nice to have you all here. And I'm so thrilled to be able to share about the NPHC and really your upcoming Unity event. So let's start off with just learning about NPHC in case people are not familiar. Daryl.
The NPHC is a group of the fraternities and sororities that are members of the Divine Nine. Here locally, each one of us sitting here, we all volunteer within the community. We're on boards, we're on committees. Mm-hmm. And then within our respective organizations, we do a number of events within the community itself. Yeah. What the NPHC is, that they bring us all together and we share information about each one of our organizations, but also it gives us an opportunity to work together as a group for specific fundraisers or events like the one we're going to talk about today.
Right, yes, it's like that support group for the individual organizations. I mean, the Divine Nine is so huge, 9 organizations, and I know that each group is so focused on just that community advocacy, just really serving and giving back. And so, Tamisha, can you talk about just how being a part of the NPHC is just really important in connection with your individual organization?
I would say for us, we are going into our 4th year as a collective group. We started during COVID, and so it's been great to get together and collaborate on different activities. Delta, we do a lot in the community, and so sometimes it's nice to take a step back and join NPHC and just do some of the events that we normally wouldn't do in our organization. So like skating parties for the kids or going out and serving at the Ewell Wilson Center. It helps bring the awareness of, hey, we are all collectively doing things together individually in our organizations, but then coming together as a greater organization in the NPHC and being able to still make an impact in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. The impact part is so important. So Don, let's talk about this Unity Lighting, which is the 2nd annual, which is so great. So how are you bringing the community together, and how is the NPHC representing everyone during this event?
Okay, so let me give you a little history about the Unity Lighting. We as a collective organization wanted to make an impact on the southeast quadrant of our community. We wanted to do something that would not only enhance the community, but be our signature event, I guess, so to speak, for NPHC. So we wanted to do the Unity Lighting, and we came up with the idea. We worked with the local city government. We worked with who was then 6th District Councilwoman, Sharon Tucker, yes. Now Mayor Tucker, to support her district. And so working with the group, we wanted something to represent everyone living in that community. So we did a little research and figured out that the majority, or at least a large portion of the residents there, are not necessarily Christians. So we wanted to make sure everyone was inclusive. And so they worked with Mayor Tucker to come up with a design that would represent all of the faiths, all of the different people living in that district. And so they came up with a unity lighting. If you've ever been down on McKinney Commons, you may have seen the structure there. It represents all of the different faiths and people living in the quadrant, and so we're going to light that, and that's our signature event going forward that we're giving back to the southeast quadrant. So.
Right, and is this open just for the to the entire community? Is this a family event?
It's open to the entire community. Bring out your kids. I know I'll let Tamisha talk about what we're planning for this year. Some nice giveaways that we're going to do. We want to give back to our community.
Okay, yes, Tamisha. So what can people expect from this event, and how should they prepare?
So for this year, we've got some great things lined up. We're going to have some special guests coming, some city officials that'll be there to help kind of kick off the event. And then we've got some great entertainment. So we've got a local dance group that's going to provide entertainment for us that evening. And then Darius back here behind me is going to also provide us with some entertainment as well. But the main focus is that we're wanting to provide families with a giveaway, something to help as times right now are kind of hard for a lot of people. We're looking to provide families with something that they could have throughout the Thanksgiving holiday. And so we will have a giveaway to the first 100 families that do enter the park. We will be giving them something that they will be able to use that week.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. It sounds great. Thank you so much for coming and sharing about the organization. It is an honor for me being a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the second annual Unity Lighting will be taking place on Monday, November 25th at 5:30 p.m. We'll have the address listed below in the website to find out more information, and I'll see you after the break.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
This segment sponsored by the Hoosier Lottery. 'Tis the season for fun and cheer. Today we bring in the holiday spirit with our friend Sarah Taylor, the Executive Director of the Hoosier Lottery. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's good to have you here in person.
Yes, it is. It's awesome.
Welcome. Well, I'm so excited to chat with you. I know there's so many exciting things happening right now with the Hoosier Lottery, and I know that the Hoosier Lottery is helping us bring in the holiday cheer in studio with a festive scratch-off wreath and frosted sugar cookie display. So can you tell us more about the holiday scratch-offs?
Yes, it's that time of year where we have our 5 new scratch-offs related to the holiday, ranging from $1 to $10. You can win instant prizes, and they're available at retail. And we also have 4 holiday-themed fast play games.
Oh, fast play games. That's really exciting. So this looks so festive here. And so we are sharing the gift of the holiday scratch-offs, and it's definitely become a tradition, I feel.
It has. For those 18 and older, we even have envelopes that if you purchase tickets, it's got the to and from. You just slip the tickets in here, and it's convenient to give your guest.
And I also just love the fact that you all can have adults purchase the lottery tickets, and they should not give it to anyone that is under 18, right?
So for our holiday tickets and all of our tickets, you are correct that it is for those 18 and older. So to adults, from adults.
Okay, so those are really great tips. So if anyone that's 18 or older receives a scratch-off ticket and they're not winners, they shouldn't be in despair, right? Because they have a second chance.
That is accurate also. We love our second chance promotions. It's holiday-themed tickets and can be entered.
Okay.
And how you enter?
Okay, how?
Yes, you go to HoosierLottery.com/MyLottery, and you take those non-winning tickets. It's free to join the My Lottery program, and you just enter information from that ticket, and then we will do a drawing. Now, the deadline for entering that drawing is January 13th.
Okay, well, that's coming up, but there's enough time for people to enter, and I'm so thrilled because here at WANE, we're getting into the holiday spirit with our weekday Spread the Cheer giveaway.
We love partnering with WANE, especially with these types of opportunities. So we have 10 Hoosiers that will win $50 Hoosier Lottery themed prize packs.
Ooh, well, that sounds really exciting. And so people can enter to win one of these awesome Hoosier Lottery packets, which are loaded with the new holiday scratch-off, right? And it's starting on November 25th. So you can just head over to WANE.com to enter. And I know that last month we spoke about your anniversary, and I cannot believe that the Hoosier Lottery has been around for 35 years with these scratch-offs.
Yes, we just turned 35. We're going to celebrate all year long. And if you think about it, it's been more than $7 billion that the players have been kind enough and the retailers help us sell those products to ensure those get to the good causes for the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
So our local police and firefighter pension funds, our teacher retirement fund are good examples of where those monies have gone. Yes. And I would be remiss if I didn't say again about 18 and older, keep your play positive, know the game, set your limit, and stay within it.
Yeah, be responsible.
Yes.
Have fun, but be responsible.
Yes.
But yeah, so those, I love that the way that y'all give back. It's just so intentional and it's so important. And I think that this is the perfect gift for the holiday season.
We agree.
Yes, thank you so much, Sarah.
Enjoy the cookies.
Thank you. Yes, those are staying with us.
Yes, they are.
And if you would like more information about the Hoosier Lottery, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by the Hoosier Lottery.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry. Welcome back to Mental Health Matters with Viking Psychiatry. And today we're going to talk about a subject that many people may be facing, which is the holidays are in a couple of days and loneliness may be looming. And Sean Goddard, who is the owner of Viking Psychiatry, is here to discuss more. Hello, Sean.
Hello, it's so good to see you again.
You too. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Same to you. That orange is really calling to me with Thanksgiving.
I'm ready. I'm ready to eat.
Turkey. You have my name.
All the good stuff. So, right now is a joyous, season and occasion. People get together with their families. They have Friendsgiving and all of those things. But then there are so many people who are experience loneliness during this time. I mean, either they have lost a loved one, they're away from their family, and the weather's changing, so seasonal depression comes in too. So let's talk about that. Why do you feel that right now impacts people so much as opposed to any other time of the year?
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit of the perfect storm, right? You highlighted on the fact that we go into the fall months, right? And the days get shorter. And man, I wish I could just get rid of daylight savings sometimes,
Me too.
right? Besides having to switch the clock back and forth, which is annoying, you see that difference in the sunlight that people are getting throughout the day. And so that really plays a big effect on us, more than most people acknowledge or bring to bear. And then holidays are supposed to be a time of cheer, right? Yeah. But when we talk about holidays, we often bring up memories, right? Or think about memories. And so for many people, it can be the realization that their family member is no longer with them and they're not going to be able to experience that holiday, or a loved one or a spouse or somebody that is no longer present in their life. And so when you have this going on, there tends to be a lot more stress during the holidays, right? We're coming up towards the end of the year. We're at holidays. Do I buy gifts? How much money do I spend? I have bills. I got to pay my bills, right? The boss wants extra hours because we're at the end of the year and we need to, right? And there's just so much that accumulates and pushes down on folks. And I've talked before that, often we spend too much time living life that we forget to live. And that really pushes in during the holidays. And so when you kind of tie all those things together, it can really put somebody in a state sometimes quickly where they don't even realize it, where they went from going through life and going through the motions, living, right, and then suddenly not feeling as good as they did even weeks or a month ago.
That is so true. And like you said, the stress of money, and then also just like the end of the year pressures, right? If you have let's say that you have insurance through your company and it's like, oh, your deductible is going to run out. You have to get all these services, and now you're putting all this money trying to get your teeth fixed or get your eyes checked, and just It's a lot. It's a lot on people across the board. And so have you dealt personally? I know that what I love is when speaking to you, you have a story, like you've experienced a lot of these things, and which makes you more compassionate, I feel, and understanding as a practitioner. So share with me a time that you have dealt with this.
Yeah, so I've talked about before that I largely grew up in the system, right? I was taken away from my biological parents at a young age, adopted at the age of 4.5, lived with that adoptive family for a while, and then ended up going back in the system at the age of 13. And so a majority of my life, I've spent holidays alone, right? Thanksgivings, Christmases, those types of things. The only people that I celebrated it with were whoever was involved in my life at that time, or people in the group home with me, right? Who not necessarily were close relationships. I think some of the best Thanksgiving and Christmases that I had growing up were actually during my time in the Army, because of the bond and the brotherhood and sisterhood that's created through serving. But holidays for me have always been a lonely time, right? Have always been a time where it brings up realization of the lack of having a mom, or a lack of having a dad, or brothers or sisters, right? And so, you know, I'm blessed that I have two beautiful, amazing kids. My son Dylan is 24. My daughter Isabella is 20, going on 21, going on 50. But they're such amazing kids, and so I'm blessed now to have them in my life. And to have an amazing wife and the family that I acquired through the blending of families. But it still hits home, right, that there's nobody from my side of the family other than my kids at the table. And so I acutely and chronically understand how hard holidays can be for people, and it's why it's one area of focus and why I wanted to do an episode about this, right? Because so many people just assume holidays are joyous, and that's not always the case for everybody.
Right. And so for those who are experiencing that type of loneliness, that type of sadness, depression during this time, what do you recommend that they do?
Yeah, so one of the first things, it's not always about rushing to somebody like us, right? We can make big changes with little changes, right? And so, for example, one of the things that I talk about with daylight savings and the changes is if you can do it a little bit early morning of rising. One of the things that I like to do is I go out in the morning when the sun is coming up, and I sit on my porch with my cup of coffee. So instead of sitting in front of the TV and watching the TV, of course, make sure we're on in time for your show, right? But going out front, sitting on the porch, drinking a cup of coffee, and letting that sun really hit my face first thing in the morning. That does a lot for the body and a lot for the brain. Taking cold showers in the morning, and you have to work up to that, right? Trust me, I'm a hot water person. After being in the Army, I swore I never was going to take another cold shower. But it actually does a lot for the body in releasing endorphins, norepinephrine, those types of things, and really helping invigorate us throughout the day. And so you start with lukewarm, right, and then work your way down to tepid, and then eventually cold, and then, you know, 30 seconds or 15, whatever you can tolerate, and build that. And that actually can do a significant amount for building people up for their day. We can take a supplement with vitamin D. There's light therapy where you can, they have them on Amazon now. Just make sure you get a well-reviewed and a good brand where you can sit while you're working and turn it on and have it shining on you 30 minutes at a time, couple times a day. There are multiple things, and exercising. You know, I have a saying, feet in motion, brain in motion. And when we're moving, we're causing release of endorphins, and also something called BDNF, which is like the miracle grow of the brain, and can really help with creating connections and communications in the brain that are starting to kind of fizzle out during those fall and winter months.
And really it's about being thankful and grateful, right? So also remembering just the things that we do have. And I think that sometimes those things can be taken for granted and forgotten in the midst of the cloud of everything that's happening in our lives. It's so hard to remember, just like I'm breathing. I woke up today. I have something to eat. I have a roof over my head. You know, I have a community, whether it be at work or, you know, friends that were acquired, or if people do have family, you know, picking up the phone and reaching out and calling and really just staying active and not giving up, right? It's about not giving up.
Absolutely. I think it's harder than ever to be happy in today's society because we have created an environment that really just pushes forward the Joneses type thing, right? All the social media, Instagram,
Yes.
Facebook, you name it, right? And on TV and on commercials, you should look this way, your house should be like this, your car should be like this if you don't have this, right? And these pictures posted on Instagram where this couple seems so happy and I don't have that, right? And so we've created this environment where it makes it very hard to internalize and look at the things that you do have, right? And being thankful, because what we don't know is that, you know, person who has that really nice car and really nice house could be leveraged to the hilt and pending bankruptcy any day, right? You really have to look at the things that you do have and be able to enjoy those, because that comes back to that whole saying of mine. When you're busy looking at everything else around you and everything else that you want and the things that you're going to try for, that's just living, right? That's not living. That's not enjoying the moment and enjoying what you have in front of you. And it takes a conscious effort. I struggle sometimes to do it right and not to get overwhelmed by the world around us. But it absolutely can make a difference.
It can. Let's say that's just looking and not living, right? They're just scrolling,
There you
looking,
go.
and not living their lives. Thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you. So good to see you again.
You
Thanks for
too.
sharing the message.
Yeah. And we want for you to know that you are not alone. Right now, during the holiday season, this is the time that you can really reflect and think about the things that do bring you joy. Think about the ways that you can seek outreach and just know that there are options and solutions to help with your mental health. And Viking Psychiatry is one of those options. So we will have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes and segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and also checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. It's never too late to live your best life, so start living it today. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.